joined right now by the new LFA light heavyweight champion, Ryan Spann. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How does it feel to hear and new? How did it feel Friday night?
Oh man, it was weird. I don't know, man. It still really hadn't sunk in yet. I guess 'cause it is, to me, I knew it was coming. I had a feeling it was gonna happen. So it, I don't know. I don't know. It just ain't really set in. It feels good. It's like I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied. And it's like the way it happened. I call it like the big drama show. I got that from Triple G. He always talks about he wants the big drama show, and that's pretty much what that fight was.
Obviously,
Everybody likes the big drama show.
obviously winning was according to the plan, but I'm guessing that not much else on Friday night went as how you expected it to.
It's weird, man. I think it did. I had a feeling that it was gonna be like that. When I went to Dallas to train, my sponsor, Council Ford, they got me a room out there for about 3 or so weeks, and I went out there and I trained, and then I came back, just because my kid, he had the Christmas break and then off, so I came back to be able to spend time with my kids and stuff. And when I went back after that break on like January 2nd, 3rd, somewhere up in there, I didn't tell my sponsor, and my coach was like, he's like, hey, just get back and we'll figure out the rest. And when I got back, he was like, so what are you going to say? And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm going to just sleep in my truck. And he looked at me and he was like, why? And I was like, I want to sleep in my truck. I want to have that struggle to where, if things get hard, I want to be able to look back and be like, man, I just slept in my truck and I didn't have to do this and do that. And basically have that struggle. I didn't want comfort, in the camp, because it's like, if things got hard, I want to be able to look back like I went through A, B, and C. There's no way I'm losing. And so that's what we did, like the last 3 or 4 weeks of camp. Yeah, so I kind of bounced around, stayed in my truck some nights. It was like 20 degrees out there. And, then finally it got to the point where I went to stay with one of my teammates, Darren Williams' house, and he had a guest room, and I stayed there. And, I wanted to struggle, so I kind of had a feeling that I had a feeling it was going to be tough, but I never doubted that I was going to win.
So you already kind of had a sense that you had to dig down deeper and this one was going to get uglier than ever before, so you kind of made an uglier than before lifestyle choice to get ready for it?
Exactly. Like, from everything, I hurt my hand in camp, my right hand. So I was going to core physical medicine with Dr. Mann, that's physical therapist, and the chiropractor. We was like working on my hand because like all of camp, I didn't have a grip, and like I couldn't grip, I couldn't really wrestle, I couldn't hit anything. And I was telling Dr. Mann, I was like, hey, when it comes down to it, I'm gonna use my hand and I'm gonna knock him out with it, And so I had a feeling, like about 5 days before, I was like, I'm gonna knock him out with the right hand over his jab. So it was weird, man. But I had a feeling. I knew it wasn't gonna make the second round, and I was just, I never doubted when I was hurt. Like, you go back and watch it, I was still moving. I was still fine. The shots that really hurt me is when he hit me in the back of the head. But other than that, I was still moving. I was still going. And it was like one time where he punched me straight down. I was going for like a low ankle pick, and he punched me straight down in the back of the head, and that really jacked me up to where the point I tried to come up and keep wrestling, but when I came up, I like went flip flopping backwards, and I just had one of them not again moments, Other than that, yeah, I never doubted that I was going to win.
Not again. You're talking about from the Contender Series. This mother freaking ref better not jump on top of me, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, not again. So, like, when I got up, I kept moving. I kept, like, doing my techniques. I tried different techniques. I spent a lot of time wrestling. We have an Olympic wrestler in Dallas at Fortis MMA, and I spent a lot of time with him. And I just kept going. I just like, hey, keep moving, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying.
Tell me about the somersault.
So I was just going to get to that. Ironically, that was my teammate Charles Bird. I was in Turtle, and that's something I never really. That was just me being an athlete. He called it. He was like, "Hey, roll," and it caught my attention, and I looked up at my coach, and my coach was like, "Coach, they said roll." And so I went and rolled, and when I rolled, it got me out of like one of the worst positions I could have been in.
It was just a funny moment. You're like, yeah, at the moment when you see you doing it, you're like, what is he? And then when you land, you're kind of like, oh wow, he created a bunch of space with that.
Yeah, I was. It was one of the weirdest bits of instruction that I've heard. Like you watch it and you see me look up at my coach, and I was what? And he said roll. And I was like, okay. So I went for it.
So that actual in real time, that segment's like 2 seconds long, but probably in your head that thing played out for like 10 seconds, right? Like did I just hear roll? Are they telling me to roll? And then you do. It seemed like did it seem slow motion for you?
That whole fight seemed like it was just in slow motion because at one point, I want to say shortly after the roll, when I pushed it, I got up and I ended up on top, and he kind of stood up, so I'm holding his neck, debating on whether I want to go for a guillotine or not. And I started pushing him back to the fence, and he like threw. And when he threw, I changed levels and dropped under for a double, and then I think I went for like an ankle flip or something. And my coach was like, 2 minutes left, and I was like, oh, no way. There's 2 minutes left? I'm like, that's a lot of time. I could have sworn I was closer to that bell, because it seemed like it was going in slow motion. And so when I was like, all right, well, but the whole fight seemed like it was just in slow motion. Because I remember everything. I remember thinking about everything, and I remember everything my coaches were saying and everything. So it just seemed like it was like in super slow motion.
Was that the longest first round of your career?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I call it, man, the Big Drummer Show. It was weird, especially for it to only be a one-round fight, and they calling it like a comeback and all that. So kind of makes me think about Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard, all of them.
All of them. Almost every Frankie Edgar fight, guy got to get stunned, come back. Yes, you had that moment. When you guys got back to the feet for the final time, could you tell that the gas was kind of gone from Nicholson? He had already unloaded with all those big shots.
Yeah, I can hear my brother and my coaches saying that he was tired. I was, at no point was I ever tired. I was just pissed off, So when I got up, I threw like a hellified flurry, and then I like had to calm myself down. I wiped my face, because I hate to bleed. And so I took a deep breath. I wiped my face, and I was like, all right, let's get back to work, and just had to calm down. And I seen how tired he was. I seen he wasn't moving his head anymore. So I hit him with the first one, too. And I was like, oh, he's really not moving. And then when we both kind of landed right hands at the same time. So the next time I threw it, I kind of slipped my head out of the way just in case he was throwing again. And I threw the second right hand with intent. And it put him out right on the chin.
Did you notice the way that he slipped the way he moved his head after the jab, that he kind of turned perfectly and gave you a target, or had you already committed to throwing the punch and it went where it did? It just so helping worked out that he had turned that way. Did you notice, or was it?
When I threw it, I was already slipping off the center line anyway.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that he was throwing an up jab. I just seen him move. And one of my coaches out here, we always say, if it moves, hit it. And so we just touched him. I just had to focus on touching him. I threw it a little hard, and I feel like a lot of people go out there and they show their intent when they hit hard and they know it. That's one of the worst things for a fighter, is because they telegraph a lot of their punches. And I just try to focus on touching them. If I touch you, you're in trouble.
The legacy.
So when I threw it, I just kind of slipped out of the way, and it landed right on the chin.
Do you remember what it was like? Was that a normal feeling of victory, or was it different that time when the ref jumped in?
I was highly pissed off still. So when I hit him, he fell in slow motion. And I'm pretty sure I maybe could have hit him and walked away. But I've never had any good experience. I had some good experiences in Louisiana, but I didn't want to have him have the chance of getting up, because the whole fight I was getting hit in the back of the head. And there was nothing getting done about it. So when I jumped on him, man, that was pure evil intent of, I can't let him get up, Like it made me think about, have you ever seen that movie, The Christmas Story?
Yeah.
When Ralphie went off on a bully and he's in there cussing at him, like ground and pounding, and his mom walks up and he's just like rack him, la la la. That's kind of how I felt. When I was hitting him, man, I had some very not nice words going through my head.
I've watched the finish again. I've watched it a couple times. If there's any question in your mind, you did the right thing, because it didn't. The ref ran over, charging like he was gonna jump in. But no, he waited for you to keep punching. It could have been some dumb stuff. Nicholson trying to tackle you from behind if you would have tried to do the walk-off, I think.
Yeah, because when I looked at it, he was gone. I think they said the count was 6 hammer fists. And they were the hardest I think I've ever tried to hit anything. And they all were on the chin. So it's kind of easy to go back and look at it and be like, hey, those are too much. But at the same time, when I sit there and look at it, the referee gave him the same shot that he gave me. Not to say that he could have stopped it when I was and it would have been justified, but I was still moving though. You can clearly see, looking at the film afterwards, that he was unconscious. And then when you go look at when I was flailing around, I was still doing technique,
Definitely.
It's hard to say, it's kind of hard to be a ref right there, but I think he still gave us both a chance. It's just that when it was his turn to get beat on, he was unconscious.
Yeah, he was not moving after the ref stopped it, so I don't think it was not the same scenario. You kept squirming around. There was a moment when you had went in for a takedown, and there was an uppercut that, had it landed, probably would have been a knockout shot. Did you feel the heat on that graze by at all?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think you're talking about after I did the roll, and I kind of pushed him back to the fence, and he threw, and as he was throwing, I was changing levels.
Yes.
And I was usually, that's like when I'm like, oh man, that would have been a really good shot to get my takedown on, because he committed so much to it. But since I had already pushed him back to the fence, I had nowhere to kind of take him. Plus I'm like trying not to freak out because of the blood that was in my eye from earlier.
So you could feel the heat on him.
I felt him.
Oh, such a fun night for Ryan Spann.
Yeah, right. No, it was weird, man. It's like what say earlier when I when he hit me the first time, it was I didn't realize I was bleeding until I started to wrestle, and I seen, I felt something warm, and then it was hitting his back, and I was like, well, that can't be his blood. It's on his back. It's like, oh man, my cut didn't open back up because I got cut earlier in camp around that eye. So I'm sitting here trying not to like freak out while I'm wrestling. And it was a moment of, like, I can hear my coach saying, riding forward. And I was like, and I looked at him, and, like, I guess, I don't know what he saw in my eyes or whatever, but he was like, you're good, the cut is under your eye. And then I was like, okay, so I went back to trying to wrestle. But, yeah, man, I was really trying. It was a lot of trying not to get pissed off, from getting hit in the back of the head and nothing getting done about it. It's just, yeah. It was weird. Like I said, it's a big drama show.
Okay, the cut. Ask about it. I don't have a clue when it happened. You got caught with a right hand, it looked like, in the temple. And then somewhere after you start wrestling, you're bleeding under the left eye. So none of us have a clue how it happened, right?
No, I still don't. I look at the replay and still can't tell. The replay don't help. Maybe, I think he may have grazed me. He hit me with a right hand that kind of buckled me, and he kind of extended his left hand or something, like shooting cross past my face, and maybe that did it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. That was a weird one.
Now, talking about the right hand injury, you had mentioned that earlier, and I want to ask, how awkward did that make training? Just because, like you said, once the fight comes, I'm going to use it. So you're not exactly doing in training what you're going to be doing in fight night.
Yeah, it was weird. So for the longest, Dr. Mann was telling me, don't hit the bag. You can maybe hit the mitts until it hurts. You can maybe hit people, but do not hit the bag. And he was like, it's not broken, so that's a good thing. And it's just really a pain thing, And so he just kept working on it and kept working on it. And we was weird for the longest because I was like, I'm still going to use it whether it hurts or not, but we finally kind of peaked and it worked out.
Now, in those scramble situations, you mentioned a couple times, you got teed off on the back of the head. What do you make of that? Bad recognition by the judge, or is this like the worst scenario you had of that, of getting hit in the back of the head?
Ironically, man, I've learned to where there's no point in trying to complain in mid-fight. I can hear my coaches seeing it, my brother seeing it, Coach Safe will see it, and they will say something, but, the referees just want, and I hate to, like, talk bad about, the refs or whatever, but this has happened a lot. When I fought Leo Leite in Louisiana, Lake Charles, and he hit me in the back of the head a lot. Like, right now, I still have my braids in. Even then, like with Leo, I couldn't take my braids out because I had so many knots in the back of my head. And right now, I'm still sore, like in the back of the neck, like my neck connecting to my head where he like punched straight down. The 12 to 6 elbows that are illegal. So he hit me with a punch driving straight down in the back of my head. Yeah. And that is still sore. And it's frustrating, man, because it's like, I don't care if y'all don't take a point or whatever. I'm not fighting to win rounds, Like, stop it. Like, stop this dude from not stop the fight, just stop this dude from hitting me like that. Like, when I take more damage in the back of my head than I do in the front, like, something is wrong with that.
As we're talking, I'm rewatching the fight, and I just passed that moment again where you did get hit, and it's kind of egregious by the ref to not notice it because that was a straight downward punch to the back of your head.
Yeah,
it's pretty blatant.
The bad part about it is when he hit me going straight down, I kind of turned my head inside. And when I did, he started hammer fisting me in the back of the head. And at that point, you got to adjust your punches, you know, because I'm not gonna sit there and let you hammer fist me, you know, anyway. But like when you keep hammer fisting me in the back of the head, like somebody got to do something about that. Like, I got kids, man.
Yeah.
So,
Now, also watching the
crazy.
fight, did you feel during the fight the cage grabs, or have you noticed those rewatching it?
Oh, I haven't even noticed it.
I think there's 2
I
points
think
where
he
he
grabbed
locks
it
in.
one time when we was over by my corner, by my coaches earlier in the fight, but I didn't know if it was like a lot. I know he was real. He hit me in the back of the head a lot though. Like I felt with the cage, I feel like people don't realize how strong I am until I'm on them. And so, okay, you grab the fence or whatever, but still, man, like it's the back of the head that really bothered me more so than cage grab. I'm like, I can still get my takedown. You know.
You're 6'5". People don't realize how you are 6'5" and a light heavyweight. I'm figuring pretty damn strong. That's just a novice's opinion, though.
Yeah, and you would think that, you know, like even, so I don't pay attention to anything, especially this fight. I didn't do any interviews and all that. I probably did too. And I didn't read anything and all that good stuff. It was, so after the fight, I went back and read stuff, and he was like, well, he don't think that I could stand with him. He didn't think I would be strong enough. He's like, I'm great on the ground, and he don't think I'll be strong enough to take him down. So I don't know. I don't really get it. You know, people come into the fights with one. I made a post on Instagram, and you know, and it was basically, it was like, question, you know, am I worried about someone who is one shot to beat me is to knock me out? And I was like, answer, you know, no. And I'm saying that nicely, because it's when you come into a fight, man, you have one way to win. You know, you're more than likely, if you can't put me out like I can put you out, you know, you're not gonna win. Especially when I've gone through everything I went through to get there. You know.
Does it make it that much sweeter what you've gone through to get here? I'm talking about, again, they even said it. This was your third, just in legacy, title fight. We know about the setback on the Contender Series, and now you're on a 3-fight win streak. Has the adversity made the rise of the King that much more special?
The adversity pretty much made the rise of the King. So as far as it being special, you know, it's the reason behind it. You know, that's what started it. Like I said before, I had to grow up. You know, I had to fall flat on my face to have to get back up and get better. You know, I had to find a camp in Fortis. You know, and that's what made the rise of the King.
What has that been like? Because not many camps have what Fortis has, and by that I mean the depth of talent at heavyweight in 205. There's several of you guys, so there's a lot of great work going in there. What has made that environment the place for you to thrive in so far?
It's Coach Chase knowing how to manage us all, you know, how to keep us in check, and for us all to be in the same weight class with, especially me and Alonzo being the top two ranked on Access, you know, and I get the titles fight first. Yeah, we don't have any problems with each other, you know. Like Alonzo, man, it's been days where I was dog tired. Like when I kid you not, when I said in this fight that my training was so hard that going through all this stuff in that fight was nothing. You know, like that's why it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like even afterwards, you know, I was pacing. I was ready to fight. I was never tired. I was ready to fight. I was still ready to fight. I had 4 more rounds that we prepared for, where I would have a fresh dude in every round, you know, from sparring. So when I get tired, somebody's coming in fresh to beat me up. So this was really nothing. Like, this fight was easy compared to my training. I kid you not.
That's great then. That's probably the best way to do it. And that's been a new style of training that you've taken on with Fortis?
Yeah, man. I needed that, because when I wasn't training, it was like, Rashad Coulter always tells me, he's like, hey, man, you got to have that dog. My coach had cussed me out before because I told him one day, I was like, I'm not a fighter. I'm an athlete who can fight. And he's like, well, that's just stupid. And that's really because I never trained like that before. Like, my first couple days in Fortis, I got beat up, and I was telling Rashad, and I was like, man, I don't train like this, So I had to get accustomed to that training, man. And right now, I was talking to Coach yesterday, and I told him, we was trying to figure it out or whatever. I think we're like 4-1 together now, and all four first round finishes, and 2 of them knocked, my last 2 being knockouts of great or good strikers, powerful strikers, people who were supposed to knock me out.
All 4 have definitely been finishes.
Mm-hmm.
In impressive
2
fashion.
submissions, 2 knockouts.
Now, where do you go from here?
Man, that's what we're trying to figure out. Coach said he's going to be nice to me for another week, so I get to rest and recover from the big drama show. And then after that, we're going to figure out what we're going to do. We're not sure yet. Hopefully we get the call. So we're going to see,
Do you have a place at the house already picked out for the belt where it will be displayed?
I'm going to put it with my other belts, I'm sure. Wherever my mom decides to do with them, I usually just give her my belts because I hate to look at them. This belt right here is really special because this is the first one I've won since my daughter's been born, and she is now 3. And so this one is going to be for her. If something happens to me, all my belts got somewhere to go. If something happens, and this is hers.
Now that you've won and you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, how are you and the family going to go celebrate?
I don't know, man. I'm just going to sleep a lot.
Time to get that rest back now that you have a bed, not the truck.
Right, exactly.
Did that in its own self feel like a extra special prize after everything you had done that to yourself, and then you get the comforts of home again too?
Yeah, and then I kind of get back, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of ready to go back because I don't like the way the Big Drummer Show ended as far as, what I had to go through to get there, and I feel like I should have been more dominant. But, like I said, I had a feeling it would be like that, and I didn't realize it until afterward that, that's what the feeling was, So, I just kind of got the itch. I'm ready to get back to work because I'm so used to working now. After my last couple fights, within the first couple days afterwards, I already had a fight scheduled. So it's weird not having nothing on the books.
So many of the no days off mantra that now that you can take a vacation, you feel weird.
Yeah, pretty much. That's because it's like we gotta. Like I said, I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied.
So there's still obviously more goals to
work.
Be accomplished this year.
Yeah, it was big, man. 6 fights in 12 months, if I'm not mistaken.
It has been a lot. Do you feel like you're getting to that point where you should maybe take a little break just not to burn yourself out, or you feel good and you want to keep on it?
I burned myself out a long time ago, man. I just had to keep working. That's why I put myself in the situation I was in, because I wanted to, the days I didn't feel like getting up and training, I slept outside of the gym, so when coach gets there to open the gym up at, 5:30, 6 in the morning, I'm there. All I got to do is hop out the truck and go up there and start working out, So I should take a break, but I have a plan and I have to execute.
So are we still in the Rise of the King, or are we to where we're waiting to see if it's the Rise of the King or he starts to defend his crown?
It's still, we're still in the Rise of the King. It's I have a 3-year plan first, and then it's gonna like parlay into a bigger and better thing. But it don't stop until that belt that I have now, the letters on it say UFC.
Do you think, obviously, right now, close, right? That's what you feel. You're close to that, at least getting into that organization.
Yeah, and I should, I should be. You think about all the champions that, they usually sign, and I should be very, 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 very close. I was looking at the last guy that just fought for the light heavyweight title. He wasn't even there for a year, and he got a title fight. So the Rise of the King could be sooner than we all expected.
Yeah, not trying to be biased just because I like you, but they need to sign a lot of 205ers. They need to sign a lot of guys for that division.
They do, and we had that talk. I talked to them about that. That's why I am at 205, because usually I fight at 185. So
you can keep talking about that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, from these last 3 fights, I believe you're a 205er.
And I talked to my coach because we had that talk, and as far as what we're gonna do now that I won, and we have Alonzo lurking, he was like, I'm gonna stay at 205 because if I need to go up to heavyweight or go down to middleweight, because I'm kind of like big enough to fight both places. Yeah, I'm like big enough to fight at heavyweight and kind of small enough to fight at middleweight. I was like, what do we need to do? Because I don't want any problems within the gym ranks and all that. And he was like, we're gonna stay. He told me what his plan was, and we was like, we're gonna stay at 205. And that's kind of what the UFC wants anyway, because they know I'm big enough to fight at 205. So let's do it. I ain't got to cut that much weight, so I'm not just.
Okay, 205, cool. We're all decided on it. Good, because, like I said, the results have been phenomenal as of late. I think we found a sweet spot for you.
I think so. I like it.
God,
it's much better on fight week going in there when you don't have to cut much weight.
Right. Has the energy level in cage felt different from 85 to 205?
It's hard to say. I was when I got there Friday night, I was trying to remember. It's like, man, how did it feel the last time I was in here? At the Nugget. The last time I was at the Nugget, I was at 85, and fighting Trevin Giles or whatever. And I was trying to remember how it felt to be in there. So I don't really remember. It was almost a year ago now.
But everything's looking good at 205, and that's what we're concentrating on.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Finally going to let you go, Ryan. It was great getting to talk to you. I'm going to let you go. Try to relax, it sounds like. Enjoy this vacation, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome, man.